It is September 17th, 2021. The most pleasant way that I can put what this is, besides a bioengineered product, it's almost like the sculptor that put the undersea aquatic art gallery, and he said that he put these gigantic sculptures of humans in desolate dead sea areas, and then he went back and life was starting to form. Fish were starting to swim around them, bringing in microbiota and plant and almost pollinating a desolate area with some form of anchor. Walking around in this toxic, polluted city of New York, being Bayside Station, Bayside, New York. I also had on the other side of my mouth earlier something that looked like this. It is just a product of this disgusting bioengineering, between sticking me with needles of I don't know what kind of products they put in those needles when they just come up on the street and hit me with them, or they send me to the hospital, they knock me out, and then they perform all sorts of disgusting medical procedures while I'm out cold and I have no idea what's going on. That's how disgusting your humans are. So, as I was doing my NSA walk this morning, I noticed that, first of all, I made mention on Benjamin Jason Romer's birthday, which is September 18th of 1999. The New York City area is putting on a midway through to St. Patrick's Day parade in Bayside, which is highly unusual. They usually do not put on a Irish-themed parade. But on my son's birthday, which just so happens to fall on a Saturday for social engineering, they were kind enough to put on a parade and a breakfast. Now, I invited my son. I was trying to Skype or be the new age whatever so I could see his beautiful face when I made a phone call on Grandma's phone, since she has that service. I do not. But he went dark. I know it probably means something, but whatever. I at least made the effort. I invited him. I told him about the parade. I told him about the purpose of the parade that's listed on the flyer. He said he was too busy. He was going out with his own friends. No idea who these friends are. I didn't even know my son had friends. I know about the ones in Patchogue. No idea about the Oceanside people. Or the Modell's crew. So that happened. So I was walking this morning, and as I get to the corner of Mad for Chicken and French Workshop, right where the NYPD National Surveillance Camera is, there was a gentleman, my color, who looked like my dad. Who had an official community rep t-shirt on. I didn't see the front of it, but on the back it had a map, and it had a green whatever. So I'm assuming that t-shirt means he's the official community rep to be able to put up the flyers, that they have some form of community association with NYPD. They know that he's not criminal or whatever. These are assumptions on my part. I have no idea who the man really is, but he looks like my dad. So, and my dad being, I suppose, the senator, although I hate to give him that much because he has made horrible decisions, or been misled, let's say, my entire life. So now, let's think about this. So, this gentleman that looked like my dad was putting up a white paper for the police department with that dark blue t-shirt with the map on the back and the green, but I didn't really go in, I don't want to invade his personal space. I just obtusely like acutely zeroed in on him, but from an obtuse angle, and so it's just what I observed. But the thing is, he had one of those cell phone things in his ear, and just as I was about to approach to say something to him and to show him my pins of St. John's Day 1988, he got a phone call. Now, that's a problem because that's a piece of what I call they program in inefficiencies to guarantee that I'm not as successful as I should be my entire life. That's a perfect example. Some social engineering between two biological products. They cause an interaction between the man that looks like my father and some other person who was calling him to check to see what he was doing while the man is already on NYPD camera. So if whatever was calling was something of official capacity, you already have video feed of him, stupid. Just saying. So now I'm unable to show that man my respect and my pins for the white paper that he's putting up on the flag, on the pole in my residence that I am defending, as I am the only defender, well, I'm the defender of the crown. And I'm an Iber de Siberian crown, so of the ice and so on and so forth, and aquatics, whatnot. So now that happened. Then as I'm walking back, I notice he started right where that NYPD camera was. And I don't know where he was going to end up, but I was waiting for him to get off the phone, which he did not. I made a signal to the camera of this. So NYPD camera knew that he was on the phone. Somebody socially engineered that into my inefficiency for the day. I would have protected him by showing him the pins, but the phone call was obviously more important for whoever claims they're protecting him, who they're not. And then, let's see, I walked down the boulevard, and I saw a blue paper from where the man put it on all the way down towards my house. There is the same logos, but printed on a blue paper background. And I'm like, now that's interesting, because I did not see who put up the blue paper. Does not register with me whatsoever. Wasn't, whatever. So now I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's interesting. So I take a picture of the blue one with my ring finger. I take it directly to NYPD 111th Precinct, the picture. I explain the story of I saw the man that looks like my father putting up on white paper with those same logos underneath the surveillance camera, but he got a phone call and I couldn't show him my pins. As I was walking back, I noticed the blue paper and I took a photo of it, and now I'm here to report to you, since there was one, she was so heavily make-upped. She looked like she sat in a prosthetic chair this morning before she entered NYPD, like sweaty, dirty street cops of least importance. They get up and they actually do work. They don't sit there in 5 pounds of makeup for a video camera, right? Yeah. So that happened. So the Bengali bracelet wearing tiger, I beating the Siberian concentric circle tiger. I showed her the picture on my cell phone, my digital log. I showed it to her. She says, yeah, well, that looks official. I was like, all right, thank you. And then I showed it to the other two hardworking NYPD representatives, and with a woman that was there who did not have makeup on like myself. And so I showed it to both of them. I explained the story, and they said, so what would you like us to do about it? And I said, here's the thing. I was like, it just dawns on me that you're all in some fraternal order as NYPD. And I noticed that there's a blue paper and there's a white paper on the same boulevard. And that concerns me for public safety, because it looks like part of the NYPD was blue papered, and then at the end there was one white paper in a t-shirt that looked somewhat official, but he wound up getting this phone call and I couldn't show him my pins, so I showed the NYPD reps, which was I call him Castellano, and whatever from Game of Thrones, I think they had that name in there, Castellano, but whatever. And then there was the other woman, NYPD officer, so I showed them the St. John's Day 1988 pins, and told them the story of the gentleman, the really important one that I met somewhere within my life frame, but I was very young, and I did not, I cannot recall his name, I cannot remember. I said, I have problems with my memory sometimes. I was like, so he gave me a button off of his jacket, and I know it's an incredibly important gesture, which I am now carrying around with me and showing some of the locals as I make document of my journey here and what I've noticed. So that was it. So that happened. Today is September 17th, 2021. I'm Nicole Cattaruzza. It's star 1978, star 8378. And I am wearing the same, I don't know, do you say peasantry? Doing pageantry, where in pageantry you wear a symbolic gesture of the one that you have memorial enshrined to in quiet, secret work of artists and celestial, cosmological and astrological that came before you in ancestry, antiquity, as a descendant and a transcendent, where you have transcendence, you transcend through space and time, and you're on a different journey than most of the general public. So I'm wearing my grandfather's, like a peacock, where a peahen displays its plume. I don't have his jacket to wear, and I wouldn't, that was his, but I have something that is in memorial of him around my neck, carrying on his journey and his legacy, of whatever he was protecting when he was in service to protecting the same crown. So I'm star 1978, star 8378 for placement in cosmetic things, as my biological is being interfered with, and I feel targeted by many process. Mostly by the bioengineered department and the weather pattern and the weather sequencing being off. They socially engineered me into social isolation, which is not acceptable. That's crimes of the highest amount. But I have been socially engineered without my permission into some social isolation when I first arrived, and it carried pretty much through my entire life. And I don't know how to get out of it. I don't necessarily want to be up front and in front of everything. I just want to get to biological safety and social safety with Nicklaus. The human thing, I don't really need to enjoy as much as it looks like they do, because I'm not one of them. So that's it.